Hey guys, welcome back to We Watch Movie. I am Mike, and this is a spoiler-free review of Terrifier 3. I love this franchise. I love Art the Clown. The second Terrifier movie, I thought that movie just exceeded every expectation I had. When it first came out with that running time, I was like, there's no way. And then you sit down and you watch it, you see that they push the needle forward. You see that the lore that they build on there is so cool, and it answers so many questions, yet it asks so many questions. And you can't see where it's going from there. It was a bona fide mother effing franchise at that point, and Art the Clown was on his way to the big time slasher dome with names like Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees. I didn't say there yet, I said on his way, and that makes this a really important movie. The trailers came out and they showed Art on Christmas. They showed him and the little girl, and everybody wondered, is he gonna kill kids in this movie? How far are we gonna go? Are we gonna go too far? Should we do that? Should we not do that? Where's the line, and how do we piss on it? This continues right along the right path it was supposed to be on, man. David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown is the Jim Carrey of horror at this point. He is so damn good in that role. It's insane, and he's even better in this one than he has been in the previous two. You're watching him literally hone this character in the most perfect of ways. Even though he doesn't speak, he's doing stuff on a deeper level than he was in the first two films. Like, he'll make a certain face and then make a super serious face, and it's just hilarious. You know, it's the funniest shit ever during the most depraved, messed up stuff you've ever seen in your life, and it makes you feel all weird inside. Like when you used to climb the rope in gym class. What movie is that from? Comment down below. I don't think he gets enough credit for this role. I saw that he was in like the Grinch movies and like some of those other movies, and I'm like, he should be doing something other than that. He's better than that. He's amazing. Sienna is amazing. Lauren Lavera's character gets pushed forward. And I feel like franchise horror sequels have been focused more in recent years than in the past on exploring their final girls and their victims, their surviving victims' trauma in movies. God knows that we heard Laurie Strode say trauma 1,000 times when promoting the Halloween movies. They did that with Scream 6 as well. But I think Terrifier 3 of all the movies, though it does focus on that as well with Sienna and her brother, I think it does it better than any of them have, because it just feels realistic. It feels more real world watching her struggle with the things that she went through. And they find a way to make it creepy too. Lauren Lavera is just so good in this. I knew in Terrifier 2 she's going to be a top all-time final girl, and she solidifies it here. There are fight sequences, chase sequences. Again, look at the end of Halloween Ends. That was that fight scene that took place in the kitchen. She pins him with a fridge, and it's supposed to be the culminating scene of the entire Halloween franchise. And here alone, just in good old Terrifier 3, just coming down the chimney doing some nasty shit, also happens to have better fight sequences than were done there. And again, part of the reason that it works so well is because Lauren Lavera is so good, and she's so determined, and she's so believable in these moments. It's badass. They do a great job with it. As far as the gore, the kills, all that stuff, you've heard a lot of people saying people throwing up in the theater once again, people passing out in the theater. Does it get gorier than the other movies? I will say officially, yeah, it does. It gets gorier than the other two movies do. And every time you think, oh, that's the scene. That's the scene. In the first one, you've got the fucking Vagisaw. And in the second one, you've got obviously what happens in the bedroom scene, and you keep thinking, is this the moment? Is it gonna happen here? You put down your food, you stop eating your Mexican, you push it to the side because you don't know what to expect. And then, why are you eating Mexican food in the movie theater? That's weird, stop doing that. You know what, go to a regular movie theater and see it. Don't go to a movie tavern. Don't have a big meal before you watch the movie. I will say that. Didn't make me sick or anything like that. I could handle it. It's more of a fun situation if you're sick in the fucking head like we are. But yeah, a whole lot of, oh shit, stop it. Why is it flapping around like that? Fuck my face. Gnarly, man. And yeah, it's the goriest of the 3 movies so far. And I think that we should stop for a second and just appreciate this. Appreciate what Damien Leone's doing with this, because I don't think we're gonna see that a lot. We're watching someone at the top of their game, and they still have their ball sack. And I'm not saying he's going to lose his balls or anything like that. I'm just saying it's something to behold and appreciate, and it's not going to be there forever. Eventually, this director is going to want to go and step away from the darkness for a moment, and who could blame him? And I know we already said that Terrifier 4 is going to happen. We don't know when that's going to happen or what's going to happen next or how long he'll directly do this franchise. But what I'm saying is you got to take a step back and just be like, it's nice to see someone this talented at what they do, that has the means to do what they do, that's doing something original and is also completely fucking fearless. That's a special moment in time, I feel like. Why did I make it look like a McChicken sandwich? I don't know. But I will say that there is something in the marketing they're doing that's just so smart, and it's just a nice little trick they're playing on you, and that's all I'll say about it. I'll be doing a spoiler review later in the week after everybody's had a chance to see the movie and talk about some stuff with the kills and some of the things that happen, but they're doing something tricky, and I appreciate that shit too. As far as the story goes, how they push the lore forward, I think there was a little bit less of lore explanation and a little bit less of pushing the lore forward than I thought there were going to be, but there was enough. And again, just like the second one, I feel like this movie answers some questions and it asks some questions as well, some new questions. But it feels, I'll say, less definitive than I expected it to as far as what we're getting. Terrifier 3 feels like a proper continuation of Terrifier 2 because you have so much of the same talent in place, and it's a comforting thing to have this trilogy, at least so far, have this cohesiveness to it, specifically from 2 to 3. But the fuck was I talking about? What you get in Terrifier 3 is a total continuation of 2 with a bunch of Christmas stuff mixed in, and you get a proper examination of where our characters are after the events of 2, for the most part. Plus, you get the goriest film yet. So that's exactly what this movie is in a nutshell. And the Christmas stuff is awesome. And it had me kind of like going, man, I'm kind of looking forward to Christmas with all the lights and stuff and how are they doing that. And then I remember that I have seasonal depression and Christmas time fucking sucks. But apart from that, for a second there, you had me going Terrifier 3. They did a great job using all that Christmas atmosphere and all that stuff to create what is now already immediately going to be a top 5 Christmas horror movie of all time. And it's not 5. The kills are so inventive. There's one scene in particular in a bar where you really enjoy the characters and the conversations that they're having. You're like, I like these people. I don't want to see them die. But then Art starts to do what Art does, and you're like, all right, you can kill him. I want to see what happens next. I don't know how they keep coming up with these ideas for these kills. You're so creative, you fucks. I mean, we're all gonna burn in hell, but you're really fucking creative, and you should appreciate that. And I'll say this, the next NECA Art the Clown figurine, action figure, what have you, it's gonna have a lot of accessories. A lot of accoutrement is gonna be in that NECA packaging. There's a lot of new, tiny little new things that they do about Art. And for some reason, to me, he looks meaner in this one at times. He has just, I don't know if they just slightly changed the makeup. There's something about his face that just looks sharper and meaner to me. And speaking of meanness, there are tiny I'll say this movie's not as, you can't look at Terrifier 2 and call it carefree. There's certain things that they do in this movie where you're like, okay, I get it. We have to be mean. We have to be Terrifier. We have to do that. And I'm not complaining about it because that's what horror is. Shocking stuff can push the needle forward in such a way. It's just that sometimes this one leaves a trail of sadness in a weird way, more so than the first movie did. There's some repercussions of some of the things that happen in this that just make me sit and go like, that kind of took away from the fucked up level of fun I'm having from this film because I feel so awful for this particular character or this particular character. And I get it that you have to do that in these movies. Think back to Game of Thrones. I always use this example. Think back to Game of Thrones in the end of season 1. Spoiler alert, they kill off the main character of the show that you learn to love. And you're going, holy shit, that sucks. But I'm in shock. And now, every single season of Game of Thrones, I know they'll kill off anybody at any time, and it heightened everything going forward. And I get that you have to do that in these movies with certain characters. They have to let us know that they're willing to go there so that we'll be in fear. And it works, because we are. Anything Art's doing at any time to anyone, I'm like, they can get it, and they can get it in an awful way. So you're on the edge of your seat the entire time. It's part of what makes Terrifier Terrifier. But there's certain things, it just happens that way towards the end of this movie where I'm like, my gleeful bloodlust has turned sort of into just sadness and empathy, and it does take away from the fun of the movie a little bit. I'll say that. I'm not complaining about it. I get it, but it does, and I think that's part of the reason why I do enjoy Terrifier 2 more. But Terrifier 3 is such a nice extension of 2, and I really enjoyed it as well. You come to a Terrifier movie to enjoy a great slasher movie and extreme gore and to be shocked at what they're going to do next. You stay for the lore building, and along the lines, you laugh your ass off at fucking Art for being such a weirdo, and you feel weird inside about it. Again, best kills of the franchise, in my opinion. They actually somehow top the other 2 movies. I do think there was one kill where we went a little too Saw-ish, and it was like, all right, I think we're overthinking this one. But apart from that, the kills are wonderfully spread apart and escalating in the craziest of ways. And they do an amazing job. Once again, the best kills in the business. You know, someone said something to me on the internet when we were talking about this movie. They were like, a movie doesn't have to have shock value to be great. And I totally agree with that. But a great movie can also have shocking moments in it. And I think that's what Terrifier 2 was. I think that's what Terrifier 3 is. I give this movie a solid 8.5 out of 10. Absolutely go see it. Just if for nothing else, so that you can watch people's face when the sickest, craziest, wildest shit happens, and you can see especially the unsuspecting ones, which is getting lesser and lesser as we go up in the franchise. But that was my favorite part about Terrifier 2, was watching people in the theater clutch their purses and be like, what the fuck did you bring me to, honey? A bona fide Christmas horror staple, and this franchise is alive and well and is 3 for 3 in my opinion. I love your all's fucking faces. We are live tonight reviewing VHS 1984. That's not the name of that movie. We are live tonight reviewing VHS Beyond, reviewing The Joker 2, reviewing Salem's Lot, all in a live stream. It will not be as pleasant for 2 of those 3 movies as it was here today. I love your all's fucking faces. Hope you're having an amazing October, and we will see you soon. Honk honk! Here comes that white-faced fucker, an asshole like no other. He's a big old piece of shit. Wants to stab your sister's tits cause he's a white-faced fucker. Loomis can't recover. Dr. Challenge drunk again, sleeping with your sister's friends.
Do you want to know about the darkness?
I said, God damn.
You faggot!
I said, God damn.
A lot of people don't know the darkness that goes inside their hearts.
I said, God damn.
God damn you, Michael! What are you gonna do on October 31st?